welcome to the Rossoneri Podcast Therapy Session for today. I mean, I've read match day yesterday. I tried to be as positive as possible. I know a lot of you are very disappointed as to what happened. So, we'll try to figure some things out, talk about it. We're gonna hear about what you guys have to say as well, since it's probably important anyway. And yeah, there's been a few changes to the format. I'm gonna ask everyone joining into the call, into the stage, to mute themselves, just like Fusif and Broski did. And whenever they have something to say, they'll just uh, ping me somewhere, and they can start talking to make sure that we don't have too many people talking at the same time. Something else as well, we tried limiting the quizzes. We are trying to figure out a way to have quizzes and channel points to see if we can bring you some stuff to use or win or whatever. It's still under talk. Without further ado, let's get into it. Milan Cagliari. I think we're all disappointed. Some of us were looking forward to it. A lot of us wanted us to win and already be in CL. It's been 7 years. It could be an eighth year without CL for the next one. The next game is Atalanta. Atalanta is obviously a scary opponent to face. And a lot of you have been saying, I've been doing chat a lot in the last 2 days, and even in the last weeks, none of you have seen Atalanta lose to us, especially considering that they have to play Juve. So I'd be really looking forward to hear what you guys have to say about it. We're gonna talk about Pioli's choices. Uh, is yesterday's draw his fault? The player being scared, is it his fault as well? Do you guys think it's the end for him? I've seen a lot of people calling for Pioli out on Twitter. We'll talk about that. Yeah. So what went well yesterday? What went wrong? We're gonna talk about what would happen if we would miss on CL, since a lot of people think we're gonna be falling to doom if we go to Europa League next season. We're gonna talk about our finances, and then questions from the chat, to see what you guys have to say. If there is some topics you would like us to get on, etc., etc. Does this work for all of you? Uh, as per usual, if you guys have stuff to say it in the VC channel or in football chat, but ideally VC channel. So nice, nice that your mic is working, broski. All right, then let's start talking about the yesterday's game. Before giving you all my opinion, I know you guys I'm the very optimistic guy here. I'd like to hear about the people, what you guys think. What you guys think about our chances. What do you guys think about Pioli, about the team, and what we need to do next week, and if CL is possible. Broski, go ahead, since your mic is working now. If Broski, you're talking, I'm not hearing anything. Sad. Fusif, maybe go ahead.
Hello,
Hi.
can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you really well.
I really don't know from where to start. It was really disappointing,
Mhm.
yesterday. But uh, where should I start from? From the match or about the Pioli? Like, what do you want me to say? If we fail to get to CL again, it's like it might be really, really bad for us. Like Donnarumma might leave. Romagnoli, his contract is ending soon.
Yeah.
But
All right. So let's start with maybe a few questions to see maybe help you with figuring out how it should you should argument or talk whatever. What did you think about our team, like the players individually? Are there like some individualities that you think still played well? Were they frightened, scared, stressed? Who was awful? Who was good? Go ahead. Fus.
Hello.
Yeah.
Uh, our players, I say we were just like really like toothless in front. Like that was like our only issue, and uh, Hakan was dreadful. Like 0 out of 10. Like it was really shit. Probably like the worst performance like he ever had. I guess in 2021,
Hmm.
shittiest performance.
Yeah.
Uh, Rebic was not that good either. I guess I can understand like that the whole team was like really like scared from this match, but I don't know. What do you think? Like,
Okay, so my opinion is individually we dipped. Like you can't deny it. We have had like moments during the game where we're like better than Cagliari, but given that it is Cagliari, we should not be scared. And without Donnarumma yesterday, we'd be down 2-0 at home. And it brings us to like it raises a lot of questions. How Pioli prepared the game, how the fuck the guys were that scared. But then again, like a draw against Cagliari, considering that they haven't lost in like 7 or 8 games, and Napoli went 1-1, and like you can tell, Napoli are a very dangerous team. I'll take it. I'm very disappointed about it because like when you shoot 21 times at the goal and you only like get two on target, there's a fucking issue there. That's the first big point here. Rebic as a sole striker can work, but he doesn't work against like, when the team parks the bus, he won't do anything. And that brings us to like whatever striker we're gonna bring after Ibra or next season. We need someone that would be able to, help us create spaces. And right now in our targets, I don't think many of them can do it. So like we'll wait and see. As for the defense, I think Tomori played really well last night. Kier, he tried to like keep the guys focused, but he couldn't do much. Gigi was amazing. Calabria was horrendous. Teo was meh at best. Benacer was okay, but he was getting ran over in the mid because like that's what happens when you have a lot of people on you. You can't do much. Yes, 4 clean sheets in a row. Um, Salmakers created a lot of situations, but he's not going to be the player, at least not this season, that will be like allow us to go past those regroup defenses. Rebic, we know his limits. He's not made to be striker. He's a good left wing. Leao impressed me, as in like I didn't expect him to like, uh, you know, bring his head in the game. He was kind of awful the last times he appeared, so that was nice. Brahim did what he had to do. At times he was good. At times he was just doing what he was supposed to do. I don't blame Brahim at all. Overall, I think um, as a team we're okay, but we have a huge problem mentally. And I think the problem is this team doubts itself a lot in the terms as in when there's not Ibra to like keep them focused, they will dip mentally. Because we started the game really well. For most of the game we're in control, but when Cagliari was going at us and like, attack after attack after attack for they did this like two times for like 10, 15 minutes, which is like 33% of the game if you take like the whole game into like account. We've been in control of it, but we haven't done much with the ball. We haven't done much with our chances. We need like that killer spirit, and our problem is that when things start going south, or our chances aren't converted, we start doubting ourselves, and this is this team's weakness. It lacks killer instinct, and it lacks a killer on the front. Do you have something to add to that, Fusif?
Uh, no, I agree with you, but can we also talk about like the shit subs Pioli made? Like, what was the point in putting in like Mete? Why not Tonali? Where is him? Where is Hauge?
Hauge,
Like,
I think Hauge is not part of like our plans for this season. It's clear as day. Why? I don't know. I don't hold the answers here. But um, we you can criticize Mete coming instead of Benacer, but the truth is, when Mete came, we played better. It's sad,
but it,
but it's true.
but it didn't fix like it didn't fix anything. Like,
Like, honestly, thing is, you could tell that in the second half, Cagliari had more spaces open in the back, but we didn't know how to utilize them or make take profit or take advantage. And that was our main issue. Like we would get ourselves in good positions, but we wouldn't be doing anything with it. And it is astounding that our most dangerous player yesterday was Castillejo.
yeah, like he really did well. To be honest, like he was he was a bit unlucky. To be honest,
I'm getting you,
uh,
Kiro. Go ahead, Fus.
hello.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm saying that Samu he like was a bit like he was really unlucky in like yesterday's game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, can we talk about Pioli's tactics? Like it seems that
We'll get there. We'll
like the
get there.
coach like they have okay.
All right.
So
Hello.
Yeah, Kiro, hi. Go ahead. Tell us your
Hi.
opinion.
Hi, Dom.
Doing
So
great.
my opinion is actually similar to yours. First and foremost, I'm actually really glad that the team did not lose this game. They did manage not to concede, and I think that's a really big plus for them. Like, yes, they were mentally stressed, they had a lot of pressure, but they did manage not to concede. And I thank Gigio for some of the two saves that he gave us yesterday, because I thought for sure Godin had scored against us. I
Mm-hmm.
also think Dalot did some good defending at almost the end when saving a last minute tackle that almost gave the, I can't remember his name, the Cagliari striker, but he was open. He was like really open for the goal. So about Pioli's tactics, I think he's gone for the same lineup since Juve Torino, just keeping the momentum, just keeping the same team, not try to change. You don't change a winning team much, apart from the Ibra issue that we have no control over. He's basically tried going for the same team. And I think he did that against Cagliari, against Torino, against Juve. And for one reason or another, it did work against Juve and Torino. But for Cagliari, they played a really tight game. They had a lot of defenders from the beginning. They had around five defenders, which changed to six defenders, if I can recall, towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could notice, I think Pioli read the game in the second. He did notice that there was space in the left for Theo to run to, although Theo, for some reason, this particular year, this particular second half of the season, he's not been able to cross as well as he did for the first period. And then for that reason, I think he brought Leao in, and Leao, in my opinion, really did good in terms of crossing. But again, he also noticed that if Leao is coming in to cross, we have to have height in the box. We cannot just cross. We do not have Ibra in this particular case. And that's why I think we took off Brahim and Benacer
Yeah.
just to get some height into the box. So Castillejo again, Castillejo and Meite came in. I think those, if you do look at Brahim and if you do look at Brahim and Benacer's profile, you'll notice that he's actually changed these guys for the height, just to make sure that we can challenge for some of these balls into the box. And for Samu, I actually commend him. He actually really tried a lot yesterday. For the first time in a long time, we've seen our right wing functional, and I think that is mainly due to the fact that the right wing now is not used to cover. It's not being used to cover the Ibra position. Remember, Ibra does not press for the ball. Ibra does not run for the ball. So, as as I see Pioli's tactics, he actually has been using them to cover him. So either Salamacas or Castillejo, they have to do much more running when it comes to when Ibra is on the pitch. They are the ones who cover him, and
Mm-hmm.
if they are not there, it is Krunic who does that job. I remember when we had a shortage of players. I think it's Krunic and Castillejo who are doing majority of the running, just trying to get to cover the ball and make sure that Ibra does not run much. Ibra does not get
Yeah.
exhausted. He can go actually a full 90.
Yeah,
But
I agree with
for the
you
Mates,
on
yeah, for the
the whole
Mates
Pioli
sub,
thing.
sorry,
No,
go on
I agree
fast.
with you on what you said, especially about like the physical side. We definitely needed a more physical profile yesterday and told people. Did Pioli make
Hmm.
the right subs? Like when you look at the quality of players that came in, quality wise, maybe not, but
Hmm.
it's not like he has much options, right? And that's what like
Thanks.
people
Yeah.
really don't see. I know like it's easy to criticize, but if you don't bring in Mate yesterday, who are you going to bring? Mandzukic came at the end because he's gassed. You're gonna like you can make him like do the efforts for 45 minutes. And he doesn't have
Hmm.
Ibra's quality on the ball, and there's many things that he cannot do as well.
Yeah, I also do agree with you. Uh, our biggest undoing this particular second half of the season, in my opinion, has been Mandzukic's failed signing. The profile fits. The profile fits what we want in terms of a player like Ibra. We want a player who actually can win the ball in the box, try to win the ball for the opponents in the box, try and score in the box. But for Mandzukic, he's been missing almost since the third game that he played for us, and his fitness has just been in question. I know we did, and for us, for Maldini and Masara, I think this is unfortunate for them because they did the right scouting, in my opinion. The search was right. It's just that, and the money was right also because the money actually did play a big part here. It was really hard for us to get someone of experience and
Yeah. Uh,
someone who was willing to play for us in this particular short stint.
excuse me, just
And
I'd
yeah,
like to get
uh-huh.
Fusi's opinion on the matter on like Pioli, because clearly
Sure,
like we
sure.
have like two sides here. Like we have you, Kiru, like you think that Pioli made the subs that he had to do in order to for us like to win the game, hopefully, but we
Uh-huh.
didn't. Fusi thinks the opposite. So would like Fusi, if you like could bring your arguments.
I'm not with you on about the thing on Mandzukic being not fit. I mean, do we know that he's not fit?
Yeah.
I mean,
Bro,
there was a long.
he sneezes, he dies. Come on.
I mean, he doesn't need to run much. He just needs like to stay in front and like looks and like and just like shoot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's his job. I mean, I mean, at least at least like Mandzukic is like a proper striker. That's what we needed in the second half. Why sub him in like in the last 5 minutes or like the last 4 minutes from the game? Like it didn't make sense to me, to be honest.
I can
I kind
see,
of
Uh,
yeah,
agree.
I can see your
I
point.
kind
Go
of
ahead,
agree
Kiru.
with you. I kind of agree with you, Jose, on this. That okay, we did sub him for a few minutes, and I personally thought that Rebic will not get those many minutes. He did make a lot of mistakes in that game. However, he's a almost fit striker, And Mandzukic has not been physically well, or rather fit in our case. So Mandzukic will have done well, I think, if he will have been brought earlier and not instead of Hakan, actually instead of Rebic. And the reason for this was they had a lot of height in the box. You could notice that almost all crosses that we do get in the box are all cleared. They are immediately cleared. But the moment someone like Mandzukic came, the crosses get to him. He doesn't have to head the ball into the goal. He's not as good aerial wise as Ibra, but he can get the ball to our teammates in the box, like the one shot that he did get for Samu. That was actually what we needed. If we did have Ibra for this particular game, I see it as a very easy game to win for us. We just need to win the ball in the box, drop it for one of our attacking players, and we can get something out of it. However, we lacked that height, and one thing that we've also lacked this particular second half of the season was our fluid play in the box. Our interpassing, we had some really good interpassing. I actually saw someone doing a compilation of it, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whereby you could see we really moved the ball so well. We did some good interpasses, Leao to Rebic or to Theo. But as you can see, as the season has gone on, it's actually gone down. We do not do a lot of interpasses when going into the box. Rebic for some reason cannot pass to Theo. Theo for some reason cannot pass to Rebic, and I don't know. It really worked for us during the first half of the season. I thought it was one of the reasons why we were able to get so many goals. We were even to get in good positions where we won penalties. However, for the second part of the season, it's not really worked for us. We do not play that system for some reason, in my opinion, anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the guys just got, I don't know, they just got the pressure just got to them.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe that is one of the reasons they could not play that. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think there isn't much we can say on that. Like we can all agree that as a team in the content, I don't think we were that awful. It's more that we lacked the keys to unlock the game, right? Okay, so like now that we drew to Cagliari and we have Atalanta to face next week, right? Atalanta is guaranteed CL, and they're gonna play Juve for their potential. Is it their first potential trophy in 3 days, like against Juve? Juve are gonna play for their season Wednesday and in the weekend as well, right? So given that Atalanta will probably put a lot of forces Wednesday, and that Juve won't battle a trophy, it's Juve. Do you guys think we really don't stand a chance? Because honestly, like, if Genoa can score 3 goals to Atalanta, there's no way we can't, especially their guests after 3 days. This is something I just like can get my head around. We're Milan. We might not be the Milan we used to be like a few years ago, but at the same time, like you don't go to this is sports. You don't go to a game thinking you're gonna lose already, like before kickoff. If we lose at the end of the game and we miss on CL, okay, right. Like we missed it, we bottled it, we were first. It's all right. But if before the game, instead of like trying to like think clearly and see a way out, because there is one, what's the point of like watching football? There's no point. And I would like to read first what the people in chat have to say about this, because Atalanta is a hard team to play against. They have destroyed us a few times. That is true. The 5-0 we don't forget, the 3-0 we don't forget, and the 3-0 we had like Ibra on the pitch. But at the same time, if I don't know, like Prime Barcelona lost to Celtic, and in no way is Atalanta as scary as Prime Barcelona. It's definitely not impossible. Why would people think it's doomed already? Like, What are people in chat saying in the
I
VC channel? Hold on.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, it is 100% possible. It's not improbable either. We're better. At home, Atalanta have performed less. They're gonna be playing one more game, and they're already in CL. What they want is a trophy, and they can get one Wednesday. I don't see them not putting their full squad against Juve, and Juve wants the trophy as well. Even though CL means much more to them, it's Juve still. Of course, people still have the 5-0 PTSD Oli, but what like we have Milan has lost way worse than 5-0 in their history, and we've made it back a lot of times. Why would it be different against Atalanta? Kiro, go ahead. You had something to say?
Yeah. So on the Atalanta topic, I think we do have a bigger chance than we giving ourselves. I think we've been better when we've been the underdogs in majority of our games, to put them that way. We've been better. Like if you look at the chance we had against Juventus, I think no one gave us any chance of winning in Turin. We haven't done so in about 10 years, and we really tried. We really played a solid game that allowed us to win. I know Pioli is a bit stretched now without Ibra, but yeah, let's just see what he comes up with. We have to support this team till the last game day. We've done so. I think this season has been exceptional for us. Like I haven't seen us do this well in so long. 76 points gets you Champions League. I saw a stat. Gets you Champions League in 9 of the last 10 seasons. It guarantees you Champions League. I think we've done so well. And when I look at the teams that we are matching against, and I look at all their players being available, all their good strikers being available at the crucial periods that they have needed them, I just kind of feel sorry for us that, and I think if we did have at least one fit striker that can convert, I think we will have secured this thing a long time ago. But it is what it is. With this point, because we didn't convert our chances. Maybe some decisions we feel went against us. Probably like I don't know, was it the Parma game? I think that Ibra got the suspicious red or something. Anyway, but I think we just have to try. We just have to try. I don't think this season has been a disappointment, as Pioli said, and he's doing that well to get the guys off pressure. Because our team, again, is the youngest team in the league. We have to remember this, that these guys are not as experienced as the Napoli side. You just got to watch the Napoli side and watch their bench, and you will know that these guys are fully experienced. You watch the Juve guys, you only see experience on the pitch and everywhere. On their bench, they have experience to change the game. We do not have this. We remove our our starting 11, and I saw someone saying this in the comments today again on the football chat today, that we are Sampdoria level, and I think I do agree with them to some extent. We do not have a bench that can actually help us change the game much. So
Yeah.
we will go for it. I think we go for it and we try. We see. We've done so much. We've done so much work this season. I think it's only fair that fate grants us a UCL
Then again, like,
for all our effort.
fate doesn't grant you anything. You want to win, you want CL, you
Yeah.
win, you get the points.
Mhm.
Broski,
Mhm.
is your mic working now?
I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
It is. We're hearing you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I'm feeling actually trying to feel optimistic about the game on Sunday at least. We've had some pretty bad upsets against Atalanta, especially the last 2 seasons. So I know that is a reason for a lot of people to be worried. But you also explained some of the circumstances earlier, Amos, about them playing the Coppa Italia final on Wednesday, and the fact that they've already secured a Champions League qualification. They might not be bringing a full-strength squad out on Sunday, which gives me a little bit of reason for optimism. And I also think that we just have more to fight for at this point. And we do have a really young team, like Kiru said. which can be a good and a bad thing. But I like to think that this is a group of guys that want to fight for what they feel like they've earned throughout the season. They've pulled off a lot of really impressive results, and I think they would probably feel like those results would be wasted if we didn't advance. And so I think they're really going to come out fighting on Sunday, and I think it's anyone's game. You can say that, of course, any weekend, but I guess we'll see really who wants it more Sunday. And I don't want to really have to rely on results from other matches. I think I won't dwell on it, but I think there's a possibility that Napoli don't win versus Verona, and there's also the possibility that Juve aren't able to win either. They've had quite a few upsets this season, so I think that for that last Champions League spot, it's anyone's game, and we just have to come out fighting. It'll be ours.
Yeah, I agree with that. Fus, I see you playing FIFA, but do you have something to add to this?
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not that optimistic.
Uh-huh.
Gasperini outsmarted Pioli like 2 times in a row, 3 times in a row. Pioli doesn't seem like he has a clue on how to counter Gasperini's team. I'm scared. I'm terrified. I really don't know how we gonna play on Sunday. I mean, I know that Gasperini will go all out versus Juve, but he also he doesn't like us at all. So he will also do his best versus us too.
Okay. Let's get back. This gives me a good introduction to the next topic, as into, let's say the worst scenario comes, right? We don't go to CL, we go to Europa League instead. God forbid. What would be the worst thing to happen to Milan? In terms of finances, we're 100 million better than last year. No team is better than us in Serie A in terms of financial health, right? So that's one great point. Maldini at the beginning of the season said, if we do not make Champions League, it won't be a drama. We have the finances to support it. We're not coping, Dick. You have to think about all possibility. Worst thing that happens is if we do not get CL, the project is still advancing. We are not losing much. Are we losing Hakan? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Gigio is staying. He keeps on saying he will stay, and I think he will stay. We have the finances to make him stay. No matter what the media will say, whatever. Gigio is probably staying. That is one certainty. Now, in terms of Mercato, will it have an impact? Of course. Should we make CL? There's been an article in the Gazzetta 2 days ago saying that should Milan make CL, we would be in the green for probably the first time in 25, 30 years. Milan hasn't been in the green in so long. And for the first time, we're way healthier and not depending on an owner to inject capital for us to keep it as afloat. We don't need that anymore. So I see lots of green lights to Milan's project with Pioli at his helm. If Pioli stays, I think Pioli should stay. We've talked about this 2 podcasts ago, so that's not an issue for me. If we miss on CL, nothing changes. We're probably still making investments. And personally, I do trust Maldini and Massara to get things done. Now, if we get CL, we will be obviously much more demanding as to what could happen this summer. If you think about it, we're still having a budget. We're 100 million better. If we redeem Tonali and Tomori, that's 40 million at the bat, it still leaves us with 60 million. And no matter who we buy, let's go off track for a bit and say we buy Belotti or Vlahovic for 45. I know Belotti will never cost that, but let's say 45. We'll probably give that player 5 years of contract. On our books, that's not much because like 45 divided by 5 is like 9 plus the salary and the taxes, it's like 13 a year for that player. So no matter who we buy, even if they're a tiny bit expensive, as long as we manage to get it done, it won't impact us as much and we're still like doing way better. Now, of course, if we get CL money, I wouldn't say Milan is back. We're way far from it. But there's a huge chance that should we get CL, we'd be competing for second place, maybe Scudetto next season. Our objective, like what this team needs to like compete for CL every year, in my humble opinion, is good depth at the striker role. As we stand with our awful bench, we have managed to stay kind of afloat for UCL. What we need now is people to like give our current stars hell and make them fear for their spots. A real right wing, because I mean, Cellmakers and Casti won't cut it for next year. Cellmakers will probably keep on growing and get way better. Salad is really growing, and I love him. As for what Dick is saying on chat, Icone in France has great stats, but even Lille followers will tell you, and I've watched Lille extensively this year, he hasn't been that impressive. He just has like really nice stats because their module, like their tactics, are really good and tailored for him. Orsolini, Berardi are not Milan quality, as in like they're not the guys that will get us to the next level. Should we buy someone? We should buy people that we can see evolving to that very next level. To me, if I were to give you a name in aid, it would be Malen. Malen isn't as expensive as Vlahovic. If we could get Vlahovic, that would be amazing. But then again, like, yeah, but Raiola, Romagnoli has Raiola as an agent. Doesn't really matter. What do you guys think about it? Kiro, go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to support you on this that first and foremost, it's not a failed project if we do not get UCL. I think Maldini's first agenda, or rather primary agenda for the team, is to have stability. And so far, he's really done a lot. Getting this particular group of players together, you can see that it is working in so many areas of the pitch. We have improved from what we had before Maldini came, and we can see a lot of improvement in those areas. The only one area that we do not see, and is what you actually sensitize, or rather what you're pointing towards, is the striker role. We do not have an outright striker who an experienced striker who can convert these chances. We do have Ibra, but of course, Ibra with his age, we do not expect him to play every game. So that is a position that we have to address. I do not see us as the games have gone by. I do not see us keeping Mandzukic for another season. We might get a different striker altogether. And I can say last week, I think we had on the podcast, we had a topic between Vlahovic and Belotti. And I managed to watch Fiorentina versus Napoli over the weekend. And I can say I do see the similarities between Vlahovic's movement and the play. It's so similar to what we have for Ibra. He is a really good player. He drops in, he tries to make some passes, he goes forward trying to receive the ball. I think he's a good profile for us. So other than him, I do see us getting one player who has an expiring contract. I do not know who that will be. Well, for today at least I do know it's not Draxler. He already signed a contract extension with PSG. So I do see us, because of the money constraints again, I do see us getting one of the players that do have an expiring contract over the summer. Maybe it's Mkhitaryan, maybe it's someone else. But I do know that we are going to also address some of the experience issues that we have been having in the squad. For Malin, I haven't watched him. I haven't watched him much, or rather any part this particular season. I could say for Belotti, I think he's really wasted his prime, man. I really feel bad for him. He should have made a decision to move a long time ago, whether it is to Milan, whether it is to some other team. And I think that has really impacted his growth. If it were up to me, and if we had the right money, I would have gone for Icardi. But that's just a personal opinion. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, you can go.
All right. Broski, something to say about the subject?
Yeah, I kind of agree with what Fustif was saying in chat about getting a more finished product. He's recommending Weghorst from Wolfsburg. I can't say I watched a lot of Wolfsburg this weekend or this season, but obviously they had a really great season. They just secured Champions League, and I saw that he scored 20 goals, so maybe that's a great option. And you know, if Fusif wants to talk more about him, I'll let him do that. But I think I do agree with what he said about getting a more finished product rather than a youngster who might be having a fluke season, because this is the first time that we've ever seen Vlahovic really produce, because this is the first season where he's really getting those consistent minutes. So it's kind of a gamble, and I don't really know if we're in a position to make a 60 million euro gamble. If we get Champions League, that's great. We have the money, but I don't want to blow it on someone who, you know, might turn out great and might not. And so I do like Bellotti for that reason, because he's cheaper and he's more of a proven thing, especially in Serie A. I don't totally agree with what Kiri was saying about him being past his prime. I think, you know, with a better team around him, he might be entering the prime of his career right now. So I think he's 27 or 28, something like that. So he still has quite a few good years left in him. I think that he definitely did waste some years at Torino. He probably should have moved earlier, but I don't want to write him off completely. And I think if you're looking for someone on a budget, like we probably should be, I think Bellotti is a great option. So between those options, I would definitely go with Bellotti right now.
I see your point, and I agree a lot with you on like many of the points you have raised. However, like personally, coming to Belotti, I think that the main issue here is like, should we be the Milan that goes to like CL semifinals, right? Does Belotti belong in a semifinalist CL team? Do you see him getting there to that level? Because that would be my first like question would be that. Because if you're about to splash cash on someone that is sought after, and do not forget that Roma are on Belotti now, like Mourinho wants him. Given that he wants him, they're probably like, we know how Torino plays. Cairo hates us anyway. They're gonna like make sure his price goes through the roof again. They want like money, especially in COVID-ridden economy. I'm not sure Belotti, given where we should go, is the right option. He could be, and if he becomes that for us, I'd be the happiest, of course. But given the money we have to splash on, given the many parameters to like the deal, I don't think he would be the right option here. Go ahead, Broski.
I see what you're saying. I think I get what you're saying. Like, and you're probably right. Is he really the striker that's going to take you to the Champions League semifinals? Probably not. But I don't think that it's realistic for us to expect that we'd be reaching the semis anytime soon anyway. And by soon, I mean like in the next 3 to 4 years. I would like a striker that is going to consistently get us in that top 4 Champions League qualification spot for the next 3 to 4 years. And so we can continue earning that revenue from the Champions League and start actually splashing cash over the next few years. I think that to me is a more realistic project, if you want to call it that. I know that's kind of I wouldn't call that a project, but yeah, I think the goal should be to find someone that will consistently get us a top 4 finish, which we haven't had for 7 or 8 years, and someone that will take us into Champions League, even if we're not making deep runs into the knockouts or anything. They will at least be getting that revenue consistently, and we can start spending on better players. you know,
Mm-hmm.
later on in the future.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like obviously to like this whole question, we won't get into the Vlahovic Belotti debate again. I think we've talked about it quite extensively last week, for example. But yeah, I think we can all agree that even should we miss CL, things aren't doomed for the project, and Milan keeps on growing. This season has shown that we could get where we want if we keep up the good work. Next season, hopefully, will be easier for us because we won't be the team playing the most games in the league. And I think this experience for a young team like ours, given that, this season was a long one, it had a lot of hardships, there's been a lot of disappointments in it. It certainly made them grow a lot. And I can see us being better next season. Competing for higher spots, maybe, maybe not. It will depend on summer mercato, because all the clubs in the league are gonna do the same thing. But in no way should we like miss CL, at least in my opinion, would it be a setback to the whole project. Pioli said something yesterday, probably to like try to take the pressure off of the players' shoulders. He said missing Champions League, given the season that we made, would be a disappointment, not a failure. And I know like lots of people were enraged by it because we're Milan. We were first at the end of like the first part of the season. Balling a first place to not be in the Champions League should be a failure, except especially for a club like Milan, which is I think something we should all get reminded of. Like, we are a big club. We're not playing like one, but we have like the history, and right now we have the quality to like go back to the CL. Not getting back there, or not seeing that as failure after the first half of the season that we made, should be seen as a failure. But I think no matter what, failure or not failure, this season will serve as a ground foundation for the next one. If we play like shit next season, sure, okay, that would be a failure. But as for this season, CL or no CL, I don't see it as a failure either. Disappointed, yes, but uh, really not a failure. Does Kiro or Fusif have something to say? Fusif, go
So,
ahead. Yeah.
not really. I mean, financially, yeah, missing out on the champions, it won't be a failure. But the 100 million would have benefited us way better. Like we really need the money if we want to compete. Like for the Serie A and get way further when we make it to CL. Plus, we need to attract like the way bigger names. We can't like stay in the Europa League forever. And I'm fearing that if we keep like missing out on Europa League, we might like stagnate. Like people's expectations will get like lower and lower. Do you get me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you, and I agree with you. I see on the chat Justin saying that getting UCL is very damaging to the mentality of the team. To fall from first to fifth is hard for the fans, but if a player is responsible, it would have been even more detrimental. See, I agree with you on that, but at the same time, there's two ways like you can react to that. Either they're defeated, and they start like whining like babies, but they're professionals, right? So they should like use that as motivation for next season. And should the season be a total miss, as in missing CL, I trust our management and Pioli to get the message across, even Ibra, as to like, we messed up. As a team, we could have been like higher, but for 6 months, for 9 months, you guys showed that you could be the team that competes for the higher level. So get to work and aim for that next season. Missing on it, yeah, like you can't like be totally optimistic about next season. You can't be totally optimistic about the Atalanta game. That's just life. You can't be optimistic or like pessimistic about everything in life. Things will happen, If we need to get CL, we'll win. If we don't, we'll lose. It's that easy, really. We don't need to like, oh, parameters this, but like this squad is in form, this squad is in better form, this one has more money, we need the CL money, whatever. You want to get there, you get the work done, you win. Atalanta has way less money than we do, yet they're performing because they have a strict and they have a good plan. They have a project, and they trusted Gasperini, even though at the beginning of the project he was awful. So, would I trust Pioli with this project? I think give him a bit more continuity, maybe. We'll see what happens. But I do not see us not making CL next year. As for this year, it's a big question. Obviously, I want us to win against Atalanta. Even if we win 1-0, I would want Pioli to dance. Because, I mean, that's self-explanatory, really. So, yeah. Thank you, Broski, Fusif, and Kidu for like your opinions. Now I would like to read like some questions from people in the chat about whatever we talked about, other things. Go ahead, go nuts. And as per usual, Dick thinks we're gonna win against Atalanta. Nice. What about Emi Buendia as a right winger? Buendia would be an amazing option, but I think he would be like extremely expensive for us. I don't see him coming, sadly. Daka, a good profile, yes, but he's in the Red Bull circle. He's probably not getting out of it. Berardi. You can say that Berardi is better than Buendia. Am I free tonight? Sadly not, but you can still take me to a nice rooftop dinner if you want. I don't know. What's the point of the co-cooling? I didn't see that. I'm sorry. We need a coach whether we like it or not. We have one. Now we need a world-class coach, maybe. That we don't have, but we'll see. Mkhitaryan, I think... I don't know what his relationship is with Mourinho, but you never know, right?
I'm pretty sure they have a bad relationship. I think that's why he's trying to get out. I think from his time at Man U, they didn't get along for some reason. I saw earlier that, or I mean, it's been over the past week, especially. He's been rumored to us, and so
Yeah.
I think that would be a great move. He can play all over in the attack. He's played on the right. He's played centrally, and with Roma, he's been playing on the left, and so I think that would be a perfect replacement for Hakan if he ends up not renewing.
I agree with you on that, yeah. Do you think Ilicic could be used as a right winger? Sure, but again, like, do we see Ilicic as the guy that's gonna take us to the next level or not? I don't know. Who would be the perfect replacement for Hakan? For me, that is a very tough question. DePaul, but Dick says DePaul, but DePaul is not really number 10. He'd be better in the mid or on a side.
Mm-hmm.
He has the ability to play there, but we do not know. Now, as to who I would see being there, sadly, all of our potential options are extremely expensive. Isco is washed. I'm sorry, Isco is washed. Depay is number 10. Depay is too inconsistent. You're not gonna splash like that sum on like someone that's inconsistent. Pessina could be a good option, but I don't know how we'd fare in this Milan. We have a 50% discount on him. Maybe. Liverpool was on our level, and then they bought Klopp, and they have a squad on similar level to us. Worse. Next season will be way tougher. Juve will get world-class coach, move to Roma. I don't know if Napoli will keep Gattuso. Hiring better coach might be needed, plus making CL this year. I agree. There's been like a few rumors about Inter. Conte is not happy. Conte wants to leave. And apparently they have approached Gattuso. Napoli is not keeping Gattuso, apparently from what's been like transpired. Would you guys take Conte? He's not coming, but just as a joke.
Yes.
Yes, I was
yes.
about to say he's not coming.
100% yes. I will take him.
Yeah.
I will take anyone with like 2-digit like IQ. To be honest.
I I'd take Allegri. I would take Allegri too, but
Harsh.
he is probably
Yeah.
promised to like a Prem team or maybe Juve.
I think all these great managers have one thing in common. They require a lot of change to adapt to their systems. I don't think Milan has the finances for that. So that I think that's why we're not going in for any of them. If we were to bring Mourinho, that's an overhaul. We have no idea which player in the current squad will even remain the Mourinho as coach. If we were to bring someone like Allegri, he will require really good defensive minded players. I don't know if any of our players also remain. I don't know. These particular coaches, they do demand a lot from the clubs. Like Conte has demanded a lot from Inter, as you can see their squad is, and I think it's gonna bite them in. It's gonna bite them next season. With all the contracts and all the problems they're having, they're really gonna have a big issue, and we'll have to offload some of these players. But for us, Pioli has managed to make it work with the actual players that we were able to afford. So
I agree with you on
I
that.
think he just gets a good striker. Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is like about this project, as things stand, going back with another coach while the players have like performed to a certain level with this very coach might not be a good idea because one of the few coaches that do not need people to adapt to him is Allegri, but we can get Allegri, not as things stand. We have 76 points, potentially 79 next week. Who knows? Hopefully. Yeah. So as for coach, personally, like my very personal opinion, we should keep Pioli and keep on doing what we're doing. All right. Any other questions in the chat? I see Xethor is his usual pessimistic. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Not only we have not bottled it yet, but even if we do, some like Pioli is the only person culpable. Yeah, I mean, if we bottle CL, clearly it's not just Pioli. It's Pioli, it's the management, it's the players, it's the whole club that messed up at some point. Whether it's the injuries, whether it's like the players putting in like stinkers, whether it's like poor management, there's a lot of things that happened. I have a bottle of Pepsi and one falling in front of me. What should I drink? I think you should have Fanta, because you look like someone that would have Fanta. You're welcome, mate.
T6 said, or he asked whether we want to keep Pioli until we sink. I think that's a little harsh.
Probably
I
not until
totally
we sink.
understand all the people that want Pioli out, but I don't think that we're sinking by any means by getting that fifth place finish this season. It'll still be one of our best finishes of the last 8 years, and we have a much more promising future next season, going into next season, even if we don't get Champions League. So to say that we're keeping Pioli until we sink is really harsh on him. I think we've had the best results of the entire banter era under Pioli, and so yeah, we've had a bad run of form over the last few months, but overall he's done a great job. He's gotten us to places that we hadn't seen since the last time we won the Scudetto, practically. So I don't want to say that I want to keep Pioli if we're finishing in 10th or something next year, but I just don't see that happening. If even if we do keep Pioli.
Mm-hmm. Fusi, if you had something to say.
To be honest, I think Gattuso did better when he was our coach, better than Pioli. Like we reached the Coppa final. He also was we were like 1 point like to make it to Champions League, and like really had like a way worse like squad. I don't think Pioli did that great of a job with the current squad. Many coach, any coach, let's say, would have done the same, like except like Gianpaolo, in
Okay.
my humble opinion.
While I respect your opinion, I really do not agree with it. In terms of quality, the difference in quality is not that high, to be honest. We compared the two teams the other day. It's around the same thing. The number of points that Gattuso had was 68. We have 76. Just like Kiru said earlier, with 76 points, 9 out of 10 last seasons, we would be in Champions League. Consider that for like a few of these seasons, Serie A only had 3 spots. In terms, like, it's just like the top brass of the Serie A has been much more competitive and that we'd like fumbled. True. But I do not think Pioli mishandled. Like, there's a few games where he made certain mistakes. That is undeniable, but it happens over the course of the season. Guardiola makes mistakes, Klopp makes mistakes, Allegri makes mistakes. Like, it's not something that is impossible per se. Then again, should we like scrap everything that Pioli has done? Because like I know that the having 76 points and Mason CL after being like first for so long would sting, but it wouldn't be a drama. We can only build for a better future. Guardiola only got CL on the last match day. He won the fucking league, dick. What the hell? My memories of wanting Pioli out is mainly the tactics. Unfortunately, I don't see the team achieving something even close to what they did this season, mainly because the streak is over. So I don't know if I don't really we should keep him. I don't think he's ambitious enough even for a top four club in Serie A. I see the point. We have no way of knowing, but what we know is he achieved results and the players under him showed that they could do better. So I don't know about that. When T6 says that Pioli has the better players of all the coaches, Juve have had like a worse season than we do. Way worse. And they have way better players. See, Juve have a shit coach, right? In Pirlo. I don't think Pioli is a bad coach. Given that who we have at the moment, I think that he's doing a great job even. Is he the one that's gonna like make us win a CL? No, I don't think so. It'd be nice story if he did, but he probably won't. And I agree with what Dr. Young said. Pioli gets us to CL next Sunday. We're Pioli gang all the way. Milanists in general, especially on this Discord, we're like very reactionary and very emotional. And it is true that if we win, you guys are like, oh yeah, we're the best team in the league, and then we start losing and like, oh, we suck. Thing is, the same team we're cheering on, it's the same players, it's the same system, it's the same coach, everything is just the same. Results happen. It's a sport. Nothing is written before it happens. Same thing for the Atalanta game. We are Milan, we should expect and demand more, right? But I don't think being negative about the outcome of the season is going to help. It feels good to vent. I agree with you, but it doesn't bring anything more than negativity. And it wouldn't have changed anything like 10 years ago, but now we have social media and players see negativity, and I don't think they like what they see. I don't think Castillejo likes when he's called, I don't know, whatever he's called on the internet. But then again, it's Casti, who cares? He has a funny face, right? But that's a whole other debate. You played most of the league with the left winger as striker. Pioli did okay, but he got to learn how to use 5 subs. I agree with you, Xethor. But then again, like, you can't put it on Pioli for that because, to me, he doesn't have enough quality to make the changes needed. All right, I'm gonna take like maybe 1, 2 more questions and then we're out, I think. Drew saying about what you're saying, I don't know if someone can like plug the statistic real quick, but thing is we have a lot of players that have scored. We're the team with the most goal scorers, I think, different goal scorers, or maybe second in the league. I don't know, but this shows that we can bring the threat like anywhere. So yeah, hi Ben.
Yeah, good evening, gents.
Yeah. Depending on the
All right,
outcomes
what
of this
we
game. Go
what we
ahead, Ben.
discussing?
Just like taking questions from chat because like we're almost over. We're like 1 hour and 5 minutes in. Depending on the outcomes of this game, this will either be Pioli's on fire, let's go milling back to CL, or oh my god, that monk Pioli, he bottled yet another game. We should get Allegri. Wow, what a man coach he is. Yeah, that is true, but that is how most fan bases work anyway. Like you can people love this team. Some hate it because they love it too much. It's okay, right? So it doesn't really matter. Kiru saying Allegri is going to Real Madrid, by the way. There is a big rumor, yes, that Zidane told Florentino Perez that he's leaving, so Allegri might go to Madrid and Zidane will be free. I do
Yeah,
have
well,
a
Zidane's most likely going to Juve, right?
probs, yes.
That's the general consensus. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, as Binocolo was saying, I definitely feel that this fan base can be a bit more reactionary than others, though, to be fair. And, you know, it's been a long time coming. It's like 8 years that we wanted this Champions League. The team had one time to like get it, and it feels like that chance is really going away from us. And it was the one true, I'd say, the easiest chance we had, to be fair. And we so far we've squandered the easy chance. We still have one last chance, and it's hope that kills you. But like,
Yeah,
you have to be hopeful. You have to be hopeful.
you really do. And I think, hold on, let me like, wouldn't it be a great story that our lowest point in a while was the 5-0 against Atalanta, and we might go to CL by beating Atalanta. I think that would be a nice story, and I think this is the story I want to end the podcast on, at least the recording, because I have to leave soon. So I'll leave you guys on that. Let me cut the record. Thank you all for listening.